Dear non-Germans, what do you think of Germany? Kids are kinder there. True. Here, take this medal. Sports medal as a sign of appreciation. No matter how nice your kids are, German children will always be kinder. They were harsh on my country and Brazil in the World Cup. Funny. I was living in Colombia at the time. Many Colombians felt that Brazil had kind of cheated in their win over Colombia and took great delight in Germany beating Brazil 7-1. Never forget. Username doesn't check out at it. Jesus Christ, I got it. The Germans beat the Saudis 8-0. Chill the F down, Redditors. Y'all, MFERS got a no-speed limit highway. It's both intriguing and scary. Good on you, Germany. You know it's scary when a Porsche drives with 300 kilometers per hour next to roadwork. If I pay for the whole speedometer, I'm gonna use the whole speedometer. As a Swede, I look at Germany kind of like our bigger cousin who has a dark past but who has now radically bettered themselves to the point that we now look up to them as close friend and even protector. Swedish and German culture also feels very similar. We have the same strict, rule-abiding and moralistic outlook, rooted in a shared Lutheran inheritance, as well as both being somewhat cold and standoffish and valuing logic and efficiency over feelings and emotions. When I visited Berlin, I was surprised they used the honor system for transit. You can walk into the U-Bahn without having to go through a barrier. There are controls in the tram. Don't forget that. It's like that in every city as far as I know. But there are definitely undercover transit police which will ask to see your tickets. In the 6 months I've been in Munich, I've been asked 4 times. Some lovely baked goods. Hell yeah? Actually the only food that is top compared to other countries. LMAO. Oh, you mean like bread? My wife worked in Germany for 3 years at an English-speaking daycare near Weimar. Her stories have reshaped everything I think about Germany and especially the language. Popular media makes German sound angry and harsh. When someone you love speaks German, it sounds warm and comforting. My perspective is that Germany really has its ass together. One of the first labs I worked in, I had a German boss. I'll never forget the way he would skip over wide swaths of details saying, and blah, blah. That's right, only 2 blahs. So I asked a coworker why drive. Bossman would only say 2 blahs and he replied, because it's more efficient. So ever since then I've thought of Germans as very efficient. Honestly, that's both the most and least German thing ever. Pretzels. I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small. Drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive. And then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little. But on pretzel day? Well, I like pretzel day. I just want to say that I hate the English word pretzel. Like seriously? The word with a beautiful soft B, and they decide to replace with that disgusting letter called P. It's not like Brazil is some unspeakable word for English speakers. B. F. Pretzels. Lived there about a year. Bavaria from US. You all know how to drive. You all know how to do bike trails. You know how to do beer and wine affordably and no open container laws. Southern Germany is beautiful. You all do fresh meat and bread 100% better than the US. No open container laws. Is there anywhere in the world other than the US that has open container laws? It's alright. I've been there a lot. I'm from Switzerland, so a lot of field trips were to Germany when I was in school. I'm confused by not Swiss German, but otherwise it's cool. Well, Switzerland is basically the premium ad-free version of Germany. I love Switzerland. Reminds me of Austria. I admire Germany for what I've heard about their education on World War II and how they don't hide all of the atrocious things they've done in the past. Unlike where I live, I don't know much else, other than your language is a little harsh sounding, but beautiful. They make for great bad guys in movies. Before I visited Germany, my impression of Germany was well-designed yet industrial. Most meals are sausage-based. The people are stern but fun, like an uncle offering advice over drinking. My impression after visiting was relatively unchanged, but more noodles in food than I anticipated. Ironically, the best German bad guys in movies are actually British. Alan Rickman, Jeremy Irons, Ralph Fiennes, Peter Sellers, etc., unless it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Doner kebab is some good s. A German-style doner place just recently opened up downstairs of my apartment and I have been in heaven. The best fast food in the world. Wait, you don't have doner in other countries? Nice currywurst. OMG. Someone who understood the real treasure of German cuisine. I worked with a guy named Yannick who was German. That was really all I knew about him. He worked for our organization. His name was Yannick, and he was German. He was an IT-type quiet guy. One day, I had a bag of pistachios that I was eating at my desk. Yannick walked by and was waiting to talk to someone else. I said hello and offered him a pistachio. He said no thanks. He didn't like pistachios. Another data point. My mind immediately began searching for a reason why Yannick wouldn't like pistachios. And I connected it to the only other thing I knew about him: he was German. We all know that Germans love efficiency, and pistachios aren't the most efficient snack. There's a little bit of work involved and sometimes you can't get them to open at all. Yannick, as a German, doesn't like pistachios because they are an inefficient snack. This is now something I say about all Germans. SAUFEEN. Morgan's MITTAGSABENDS = SAUFEEN. Prost. Word zu Medlin Tropfen. Mischt man es mit Malz und Hopfen. Wenn wir schon dabei sind. Scheiß drauf mal ist nur INMALIMJAAHR. From my perspective, you've done an admirable job emerging from a very dark period. Also, you guys look pretty organized, which appeals to my type of personality. I would very much like to visit. Edit. Thanks for the background info. Germans. Till Germany is so organized because of significant bureaucracy. I would still prefer this to America, where there is significant bureaucracy and it's still disorganized. I cannot think of a better example of a country that rose from the ashes of fascism to become a brilliant and enlightened leader on the world stage in such a short time. The German people are a light unto the world today. Danke, Liebe und Respekt aus Canada. We do have some arising problems with nationalism and fascism though, seen by a fascist party being voted into the parliament again in 2017 and a rising right-wing extremism. Edit. They're in the parliament, not the government. I have been there a few times, but was there last year for Oktoberfest and I absolutely love it for so many reasons. Bavaria is almost impossibly beautiful. I'm from Ohio, so it doesn't take too much. Clean, charming towns with nice people and small shops everywhere. Their roads make so much more sense than in the US and I hardly speak any German. No potholes, seriously. Not one, and everyone does everything they are supposed to do. So driving is easy. The portions with no speed limit or a winding road through a forest made me realize what absolute road laws and layouts that we have. A fun car is totally wasted here. Even in Munich, I didn't see any homeless people ranting and raving or otherwise just cast aside to fend for themselves. I'm sure it happens, but I can be accosted 50 times walking a couple miles. Coming home, we landed in Charlotte and I saw more out-of-shape people in the airport than I did the entirety of Germany. I love German food and beer anyway. But from the source? Amazing. Also, a half-liter of beer is actually cheaper than a pint of even cheap domestic beer here. Let alone a craft beer, though I do love our craft beer selection compared to theirs. There's many more reasons, but I imagine this will get buried anyway. I've traveled all over the world and don't buy the whole "socialism is evil" line here. But I don't think I realized just how hard they're lying to us about it. Even then, I was like, well, the taxes though, right? Looked it up and it was pretty much the same. You know, except for the part where they get free education and healthcare. I wish more people here knew what different cultures are like. There are a lot of them that do at least a few things better than us.